Hi and welcome. My name's Allie if you're new here. If you're not new, I'm so grateful you're back. This is a reading about the Golden Children. And I was called to do a Golden Children series from Spirit. I've also have a beautiful reader who is also channeling Golden Children messages that I will link in the description box below if you feel called to check her out. Her name is Nicoletta with Shamanic Insights. But I am so grateful that you are here. And as you can see, we have 3 piles to choose from. And if you are someone who likes to jump right to your reading, please know that the timestamps are in the description box below. And I totally get it. And I love you. And I will see you at your reading. And for those of you who would like to hang out for a moment, I would like to just kind of talk about what are the Golden Children in this new earth, in this new age. What does that mean? And why are we doing a reading about them? So let's go ahead and take a deep breath together and center our energy. So the Golden Children, I consider myself one of the Golden Children. If you are watching this, very likely you are a Golden Child as well, or you are caring for a golden child, or you've given birth to one, but odds are you are a golden child. Within, or I should say under this umbrella of Golden Children, there are other levels, like you've probably heard of indigo children or crystal children or rainbow children. In my understanding, these individuals who could fall under these labels or classifications, all of them fall under the umbrella of the Golden Children. And so who are the Golden Children? The Golden Children are considered to be the children of the sun. According to Rebecca Campbell, who we all know who created the Starseed Oracle, or I should say many of us know, children of the sun or golden children are highly advanced, they're extremely intelligent, and many of us have incarnated on Earth because, like all star seeds, we answered the call. Golden children are usually born with a very clear mission, and many of us remember it from a very young age, and we begin to kind of answer that call and shift into that awareness and consciousness at very young ages. I really remember having this calling on my life when I was 6 years old, which just seems crazy to me now. But that may resonate with you. Many golden children found themselves easily bored at school, but also very creative and intuitive. Many of them have never incarnated on Earth before, and so it's difficult for them to acclimate or adjust to all of these rules and the way things are done, the density that is Earth school. So if you consider yourself a golden child, this is to help you better understand yourself and your mission and your goals that your soul chose to sign up and complete in this life. And my goal with this reading is to help you better understand yourself and to understand what it means to have these special, unique gifts, why you chose to incarnate with them, and what you're going to be using them for in the future. So again, I feel compelled to mention, they did tell me this would be a series. So this is going to be part 1 in this series. And we have 3 beautiful groups to choose from. For group 1, we have Coyote Spirit with the number 13. I'm very drawn to the Herkimer diamond here. And for some of your talismans, or I guess that's what we could call them, we have a piece of raw agate, as well as a piece of moonstone. I love moonstone so much. For pile 2, I believe this is a piece of quartz. And this is called chert. I think it's called chert. But basically, my understanding is that arrowheads and other types of tools from the Paleolithic period were made out of this material, element, crystal, what have you. And then for pile 3, we have swan. And for this, we have this tiny little bone that was given to me. It's very precious to me. I do not know what animal it is, and I know it might be kind of weird to some. But I have this tiny little bone and this little puppy figurine that was mine in high school and somehow was given to my cousin when she had children, and 15 years later I have children and it made its way back to me. So that might be pertinent to someone out there. So these are the piles to choose from. I am so excited for you to get into your reading and see what Spirit has for you. I would love to do some sound cleansing with you before we begin, if you're interested in that. So if you would like to go ahead and close your eyes, unless you're driving or operating on someone, that would be really scary. Go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose for about 4 to 5 seconds. Hold that breath for 2 to 3 seconds. And then exhale through your mouth for about 5 seconds. And feel your body release and relax as you do this. And feel free to do this as many times as it feels good to you, because your body knows. And so as we do this, please be mindful if you have headphones, but I'm going to use our singing bowl, and then I will meet you in your reading. Hi, Pile 1. How are you? If you stayed through the entire intro, thank you so much. I know it was a little bit of a lengthy one, but I actually had fun with that. And so this is for those of you who have chosen Coyote number 13. And there are so many messages coming through for you. So the first thing that I want to bring through about Coyote for you is coyotes are inherently known as tricksters, okay? This is neither positive nor negative, or rather it has its positive attributes and its shadow attributes. I'm feeling more positive energy to start, in that I feel like you're someone who can really lighten up a room. I feel like you know how to make jokes. I feel like you know how to make light of really heavy situations in a way that doesn't make people upset with you, but it just helps lighten the load or the weight of a situation a little more. I feel like you're somebody who's able to make other people laugh pretty easily. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm also getting that this may also be a bit of a coping mechanism for you in a way, because in your past, I think you have had to learn how to be the funny person, or, to laugh at yourself, to not take things too seriously. And I feel like you developed this because you have such a soft interior. And I feel like maybe you didn't have the most sensitive people. Like, when I say sensitive people around you, I just mean, I'm hearing like toughen up, or it's not so bad, or, those kinds of things. And so this coyote energy that you've cultivated, I'm hearing, actually feels a little bit more like a protective mechanism you've developed that's actually going to be helping you on the next leg of your journey. It's the shadow aspects of coyote that are coming through right now, aside from being a trickster, is kind of just getting like a one-track mind, going after something. You feel it, you feel the excitement, and then you go like, devil may care. Is that even a phrase? Caution to the wind. And then when stuff doesn't go your way, you're kind of like blown back by that. Like, what? Let me, like, even in the book for this, it says, let me go back and see what happened, because you don't believe you got hit by a truck. And you get up and you go back to see what happened, and you get hit by another truck. Because it's like you don't, or maybe this is a past trait of yours or something that you're working on, but you get so fixed on the outcome of seeing something through, that it's to your own detriment, in a sense. I get with the number 13 here, though, that much of the shadow aspects of coyote are things that you've been working through. They're things that you have recognized in your own shadow work. I don't feel like I'm necessarily telling you anything new here. I feel like this is confirmation. And I also feel like you have been working with spirit and with your spirit team to turn this coyote energy into more of a positive attribute than a shadow one. There's something I actually, before we pull any more cards, I need to read this to you. I didn't know this until I went back, or I didn't remember this until I went back to read on coyote medicine in this book, because I love this book so much. I mean, if you don't own these medicine cards and the book that goes with it, I cannot stress it enough. This is magical. But what I have written in here, which is kind of funny, it was funny to me, and I feel like it's going to be pertinent for one of you out there, is at some point in the last several years that I've owned this, I've highlighted and made notes on coyote medicine. And so what I have highlighted here says, if you have coyote medicine, you may use it to make stuffy old fogies lighten up, to add cheer to a party, or to break a death grip conversation with ease. And then next to this it says, have fun telling some gossiper that you just returned from St. Tropez in your new Learjet. And then I have written on here something Patty would say. Patty was my grandma who raised me a lot. And so I feel the need that they wanted me to bring that up, because some of the shadow some of these shadow attributes of coyote that you had to develop and cultivate for survival mechanisms, for protecting your inner child, actually came from people talking talking in many ways, and none of them very positive. Either talking about you behind your back or to your face telling you how something about you is wrong, or you're doing it wrong, or you're seeing it wrong, or it's like it's this constant feeling of inherently being told that your existence is wrong, and it got you on this one-track mind of following a call, following a dream or a passion, but following it to a degree that becomes so unhealthy that you're hit by a truck and you don't even believe you've been hit by a truck, so you get up to look and you get hit by another one as a coyote. There's something here with the Dalmatian Jasper that came up that is connected to coyote medicine here. And it does feel like it's bringing up this duality of light and dark, this balance that Spirit is wanting to bring through like really heavily here for you. You're doing a good job. You're doing better than a good job. They're saying you're doing a great job. And all of this pressure you have been under, just like this diamond here. And there's a wishbone next to it and a feather with Spirit. I feel a lot of joy in this card for you with coyote medicine. I feel joy for you in this card where it actually feels like you shouldn't inherently have that much joy, and yet you do. You've cultivated this, and how beautiful is that? So, let's see how this ties into your specific message about the golden children. This Star Codes Astro Oracle has been staring me in the face as I've been channeling your coyote card. So let's go ahead and pull some cards here, because I do really feel Spirit talking to us and asking us to pull cards from this deck. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. Spirit team of Group 1, Creator, Archangel Michael, Big Mike. I feel like calling you in here, please and thank you, for a little more clarity on this reading. Golden children for Group 1, please and thank you, Spirit. What is it that, the number 13 and also the month of April, these are really significant dates for you. It could be a birthday, and it also could be something coming up. And I know I'm shuffling right now, but I'm dying to know if the next April 13th, 2024, could that be a Friday the 13th? I have no idea. Just popped into my head. So we'll check that here in just a second when I'm done shuffling. But thank you so much, Spirit, for Group 1. Okay. For Group 1, please and thank you, Spirit. About the golden children. Archangel Michael, Spirit team of Group 1, more information. Help us understand the message being brought through for Group 1 for the golden children. So we have root, your IC, that's at the bottom of your birth chart. This one too. Number 8, another 8, Scorpio. Which is interesting with the number 13. And let's get one more, please. For Group 1 and the golden children, please and thank you. Okay. Gemini, number 3, cross-pollinate. And at the bottom, we have Mars motion, number 22. Okay, so I took a moment to do a little research before we jump in. And interestingly, April 13th of 2023, which is the year I'm recording this, was Friday the 14th. So I absolutely feel that for someone watching this, that day in particular was a turning point for you. You may not have noticed it on the actual day, but if you go back and look at kind of what transpired around that time in the next 6 weeks after, and who were you then and who are you now, and it's going to put the puzzle piece together for you somehow, some way, somehow. I don't even know what that puzzle piece is, but it's very important for you to remember that day. So another thing that's really interesting here is when I was researching, I shouldn't say researching, I was just reading up on this Gemini cross-pollinate card here because I'm very drawn to the bees. Obviously, if you've been watching my channel for a little bit, you know I've kind of got an obsession with the beehive cluster and the ascended masters that are associated with that. And that was, man, it was like I had to pause what I was doing and really make sure that I was bringing you the correct information here because this is so powerful. I felt like Kramer doing that. Like, this is so powerful. So when we talk about the root here, the Imum coeli, I'm probably saying this, Imum coeli, I'm sure I'm saying this wrong. The IC, the root of your chart. This is the bottom of your chart. And this is experienced by how you experienced your childhood, safety, security, the root of who you are, where you came from, and what made you you. And with Scorpio here, many of you have Scorpio in your big three, I'm hearing, or a strong Scorpio placement, like you might have your Pluto and Scorpio in the 10th house, the 11th house, or the 12th house, they're saying. These are all, I mean, you don't have to have these placements, of course, but if you do, it's something to help you kind of put your ears up and listen, because you know it's pertinent for you. There's more here on the Scorpio card, but to get back to my point here, when I was reading this Gemini cross-pollinate card, it was specifically discussing gossiping. And I don't feel like this is you gossiping. I feel like this is something you have struggled with other people your whole life. Gossiping about you, making assumptions about you, thinking they have you figured out, thinking also that you are, and this is being brought up with the beehive cluster here, so I feel like in a lot of ways you have kind of felt like people view you as a trickster coyote who's usually up to no good, who's usually dabbling in dark stuff, who is on the wrong path. And it's like, in such a big way, source and your guides and angels are coming through to let you know that this has all been meant to be used as fuel to get you here. You know that you are not an evil person. You know that you are not a trickster. While, yes, growing up in your adolescence and your youth, I know you made decisions and maybe treated people in a way that you look back now on and feel a lot of shame. And they're wanting to remind you that that you experience these things because you were trying to survive in an environment. You were acclimating to an environment and trying to survive, and that environment was really pretty toxic and full of people placing their negative, painful, mean assumptions onto you and saying, this is who you are. You're just rotten and shady. And I feel like it's been this constant tug of war inside for you to not only make sense of who you are and figure out who you are, but then there's been this layer of trying to convince everyone that you're not evil. This is so frustrating. This is so frustrating. But you are very connected to the beehive cluster. And another point that they keep bringing through here to me is sex, okay? Actual physical sex with another human being. With the Scorpio here, Scorpio is known to be kind of lit. How do I say this? Scorpio is a sensual energy as well as a darker energy. And I think recognizing that you inherently are this sensual, sexual individual, and that these are beautiful things about you. These are not dark things. These are not things that need to be hidden in a closet and shamed and shunned. I mean, you're not like, these are beautiful things. Creation. How are things created? How are things created? How are human beings created? We are created by the act of creation in sexuality. And how and why would anyone perceive that to be evil and wrong? I'm being reminded about religions and their need to control people by shaming them and instilling fear. And so in many ways, I feel like you live, they're talking about root, like your home life, your growing up, who, you know, where you came from. I feel like you came from a very judgmental, maybe even strict, maybe even very religious, not just home, but community, town, state, the area in which you live. You know who's being brought to my mind right now is Damien Echols from the West Memphis 3. Now I have chills. If you're familiar with that tragedy, and it is a tragedy on every single front, you may remember that these 3 boys, and they were boys, were arrested and convicted and on death row for, they were convicted, I want to be careful with my wording here. They were convicted of murdering and mutilating 3 little boys. And there was basically no evidence to this, to tie these 3 teenagers to this crime, except that they liked goth music and wore black clothes and were kind of different. And when I first heard this story, like, I used to be a big true crime buff until I had my near-death experience, and I can't really go there anymore. But this was one that has stuck with me because of how adamantly I did not believe that these teenagers did this. And now, amazingly, they are out of prison. They are no longer, Damien Echols is no longer on death row. He is out and still fighting for his complete freedom. But the story here, I could go on and on about that. If you haven't heard about that, there's a series of documentaries on this called Paradise Lost on HBO. Here's my plug. But no, this is important because I feel like these were a group of boys who were different. They were into alternative things. They liked to listen to Metallica and Judas Priest in the 90s. And so they were immediately judged as satanic devil worshippers who murdered 3 little baby boys, and with no other evidence to connect them to the crime. I feel on another level, this has kind of been how you have had to experience the world. People looking at you like you are just like, what's wrong with you? And I feel Spirit telling me, like, we don't want to linger here too much longer, but 3388. Do you see this? All these threes. 33 always reminds me of Christ and him being sacrificed at probably around 33 years old. There may be a connection around 33 years old for you. And I feel Spirit needing you to know that Christ was viewed the same way. Christ was viewed the same way. They couldn't stand him. The Pharisees literally wanted him gone in the worst way because his authenticity and his voice and the way that he carried himself out loud threatened their old way of thinking and controlling people. And in my humble opinion, all Yeshua was trying to do was help people find God inside themselves and free them from themselves. So there's a lot of confirmation here for you about your connection with Yeshua and the Beehive Cluster. There's a lot of confirmation about your heart. And now they're bringing me here to kind of the meat and bones of your reading, which is mending that inner child broken heart that you have had to... I'm almost seeing like you creating this energetic grid around you, and at the center of this is your broken heart. It's as if somewhere along the line, your broken heart became you. And so it's kind of like the sad, funny guy. It's kind of giving me, Robin Williams, but really more so Chris Farley vibes. And it's not easy to get out of that hurricane, and like you're doing it. I can feel them clapping for you. They're like commending you because you're doing it. You're doing really, really important and difficult work. And this is because, okay, they're reminding me again, this is because you're a golden child. You are meant to come here and help the new waves of golden children, the new earth. Okay. I would like to get some more information, please and thank you, for pile 1 and the golden children. Can you please give us some more information on this, please and thank you? So I'm noting that a common consensus, a common theme among golden children is that they don't seem to be incarnating with very much karma or past life baggage at all. It seems, oh my, okay, well, we're just going to look at those. It seems to be a common theme that while a lot of us do carry like past life baggage and family DNA baggage that we have to kind of heal and transmute in this life, and it has nothing to do with how painful it may or may not be. It's more to say that the baggage that you are working through now and have almost completed is baggage you had to navigate in order to fully be this guide and advocate for the golden children being born right now. So it's different waves of golden children. Oh my gosh. Soul family protection. You are not alone. And I feel this strong urge to tell you that you're finding your soul family now. I may be part of your soul family. You are not judged anymore. And you're finding your purpose in this soul family. You're finding your purpose. Like, your soul family goes beyond here in the physical. I know you know this. It's through so many realms in space and time, which time doesn't even exist. But, like, it is inconceivable, incomprehensible, the amount of heart-centered souls in all the realms that you have on your team that are with you. I'm getting really heavy dragon energy as well. So bumblebees and dragons, definitely significant for you. We have ancient patterns. It's safe to let them go. This is literally what we were just talking about. You have, and then it says, it does not matter if others don't believe you. Believe in yourself. You know who you are. Wow. Wow. Thank you, Spirit. Oh, I have goosebumps. I have goosebumps. These ancient patterns from your childhood, it's time and it's safe to let them go. Everything you have endured has gotten you to this point, which is your new chapter. Literally, April 13th, whatever happened around that time, that was shutting the door to your old life, and you've kind of been in this holding space, and you're about to open the door to your new one. And so this is a guide. They're telling me now this is a guide to help you wrap up these last energies of things that might still be causing you pain or weighing you down or popping into your mind when you're trying to fall asleep, or in those moments when you're so overwhelmed and you feel like you've just completely backslid in your journey and your healing process. And they're letting you know that you're never alone. You are releasing all these ancient patterns that have held you back and held you down. And all of these people who have tried to convince you that you were wrong or sinister or a trickster or evil, like, man, you don't need any of that anymore. That's gone. That's done. That's their baggage. That's not yours. Like, if they're that wrapped up and worried about how evil and sinister you may be, that's their baggage. Because Spirit knows this isn't you. And you've always known this isn't you. And it's time for you to not only remember, but embrace the fact that you are meant to stand out and shine in this way. And maybe you love wearing all black, and maybe you love decorating your house for Halloween 365 days a year, and maybe you love Freddy Krueger movies, and even with all this, you're still this bright light for Source, for the children who are coming. Like, I don't know how to stress this enough. The new earth's already here because these children are being born, and they would not be being born right now if it wasn't happening. And so I'm very, very heavily feeling that your soul chose to come here and do this because you knew what an important role you could play in rearing. That is the word that keeps coming up, in growing and rearing this new earth generation, because we've been waiting for these. Whoa, the feeling that just came over me. I feel Spirit saying, for planet Earth, we have been waiting for the moment when it was time, when it was safe enough for these new earth children to be born, because these ancient patterns are being released by you. Each and every one of us that is doing this work to put an end to the pain and the suffering and the dark veil, the shame. Every single one of us that are lighting, like, we're the light here. We're literally golden children. We are the light, and the moths will be drawn to us. And that's the whole point. Like, we couldn't turn our light on if someone hadn't convinced us we were not the light. And our heart said, yes, I am. And so you've been in this cycle of having or feeling like you have to prove to everyone, I'm not evil, I'm not a trickster, I'm not sinister, I'm not bad. And it's, let's see what's at the bottom here. I haven't looked. Oh my God. Let it go. A phase of your journey is ending. Embrace change. I'm trying to keep from crying, because, man, it really is time to let all this go. It really, really is time to let all this go. Because, like, the new day, the new day's here, the new dawn, Venus, self-love, art, beauty, feminine, like the painful, aggressive, just cruelty of the past, I feel, is a thing of the past, is about to be a thing of the past. And it's hands down because your beautiful, bright soul said, I can take this on, and I want to take this on. Like, we're doing it. We're star seeds. We're here to do exactly what we're doing. And you're doing it. I'm also getting, and this could be very triggering, okay? This goes back to the Scorpio card and some of the sexuality energy that was coming through there for me. So before I even channel that, I just want to say this could be very triggering, but I have to bring the message through. There are a number of you watching who have really struggled with, I'm hearing just sexuality in general, because I'm hearing much of your innocence was stolen from you and has been linked under this guise of sexuality, and Spirit's wanting to make this distinction in that sexuality does not have to be defined by abuse anymore for you. The horrors that some of you may have endured that had a sexual undertone or theme, that was not sexuality, that was abuse. That was horror, and it was abuse. And there is a healing that Spirit, when you're ready, there is a healing in this space Spirit would like to perform for you. Now, what does that mean when Spirit says they want to perform this for you? You're already working on healing. And I think all you would need to do is set the intention of asking Spirit and your guides to remove that layer from your psyche, or to make it known to you, have them make it known to you if there's anything else you need to do to help move through that pain. I feel like that is kind of one of the last really tough things to move through. And it's not fair. Like, it does not feel fair for those of you that endured this. Of course, this doesn't feel fair that you endured it. And I feel compelled to tell you that because of what you have lived through and overcome, you're not going to let that happen to anyone else again. Ever. Like, I hear not on my watch. Like, no. And I just heard a knock for confirmation. And if you can reframe this pain to let it go, if you can reframe this in that you took it on and you carried it and you are transmuting it now, and now you have the empathy and experience to help anyone else who comes in your path with a similar wounding, know what a priceless gift you will be to even just one person. And this does not make any of this right. Like, please know I'm not saying that. But I feel Spirit asking for you to just ask for them to help you transmute this. And also to ask for them to let you, to help you let it go. So that all that you are left with is this deep knowing that you are going to make a change some way or another. At the very minimum, not one more person will be harmed in that way under your watch. That's what I keep hearing. And that's huge. And if that's you, I want to just hug you. I just want to give you a big hug and wrap you up in a hug. I see you and I love you. And Spirit said, and we do too. Thank you, Spirit. So, let's get a few more cards here before we wrap up your reading, pile one. This has been really fascinating and illuminating, and I don't know what I expected to come through in this reading, but I feel very, very grateful right now. I'm going to use the Starseed Oracle. Thank you, Spirit. Further messages for pile one. What do they need to know? Please and thank you. Further messages for pile one. Oh, thank you. So it's interesting that it kind of fell here on the let it go, and it does not matter if others don't believe you. So. Lost lands, soul memories and gifts. You've done this before. Yeah, I feel like this is further confirmation that if you are someone who has wondered, like, why did I incarnate here? Especially as you have grown on your spiritual journey, if you have really had feelings of like, why did I choose this? I don't know that I had to come back here. Why would I come back here? I can almost hear you asking this, and it's, again, this whole reading. You answered the call. You answered the call. You knew Earth needed help, and also that this ascension was going to work this time. I'm not sure what that means entirely, but you knew this was the time to answer the call and to do this and to endure all this. Because I'm hearing the average person, take that as you will, the average person could not have withstood 3 of the major life things that you have endured in your life and come out on the other side like you have. And yet you've endured probably like 7 to 13 things. And when I say things, I mean major life-changing, life-altering brain F's. You have endured over and over and over again. And all of this to get you to this very point in time so that you may be a guide for the preciousness that is incarnating right now. And I'm hearing you're included in this. Like the first half of your life may have been really rough, but the second half of your life is going to be lit. That's what I just heard. Like the second half of your life is going to look nothing like the first half of your life in the best possible way. I think you know this deep down. I really do. I feel like you can feel that. I feel called to look at the bottom of it. Okay, Spirit. Oh, my word. I don't have words. Inner child, tenderness, innocence, rare gifts. And this is you. They're walking into the portal. I'm also being called to mention, I don't feel like this is the Arcturus portal. It's not, they just said. I'm actually getting more Andromedan. Andromedan Antares portal. So that's something to look at. That's really interesting. So further confirmation, clearly. I mean, like, come on. I don't even know what else you want me to say, Spirit. Like, yeah. I think we're going to end your reading here, Pile 1. This was beyond fascinating, beyond beautiful. You are such a beautiful light. I know I've said it through your whole reading. And I'm also, you may be really called to check out 13 Moon Tarot. I adore her. She is kind of like, I'm just talking about aesthetically and the way she reads tarot. She reminds me very much of your energy right now. And how funny, we have the number 13 card. So if you feel called to check her out, 13 Moon Tarot, I really, I think you'll resonate really hard with her because I feel like your vibes are very similar. Yeah, and she's a Taurus, I believe, if I remember correctly. Anything else here before we close Group 1, Spirit? Anything else? I am hearing a sound cleansing and a light language with it. Okay. So be mindful of this. I'm going to get my singing bowl. Oh, they said no, they want the Tibetan chimes. Okay. So if you have headphones in, please be mindful of that. I'm going to use these. I just love these so much. It has a beautiful little red string stuck to it. Okay, so go ahead. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold that breath. And then exhale through your mouth. And do that as many times as you feel called or comfortable. Just relax and receive this sound cleansing and light language from Spirit. I'm so grateful for you. Pile 1. Ishinana yata tutuade la la katotoi de ashanana ela katataya tushunana mama pataya oyo tututoya shea eyato ampapayo tuishne takatatea oy yatate shununu katata eshash Esha emononoya ka laya tutoyampa aye enda ishanana ela katatea po tetea a. Thank you so much for spending your precious time here with me. I truly cannot tell you what this does for my heart and how grateful I am for you. If this reading resonated with you, please let me know how. Like, share, and subscribe if you feel called. Those are completely free ways to help support me in this channel. And honestly, it makes my heart sing. I'd love to hear from you. If you are called to book a personal reading with me or just to see the kind of services I'm offering right now, you can find all of that information at my website at theseaowl.com. And more than anything, please take excellent care of yourself. And I'll see you soon. Group 2, welcome to your reading. This is for those of you that picked number 42, Bat. And do I have some messages for you? So right away, if you picked Bat, then you're going through an initiation. And I don't feel like I'm telling you something new. This should definitely be confirming for you. But you're going through an intense rebirth, transformation, and initiation. And so I feel like right now, Spirit, I feel like your soul is needing a lot from Spirit just to help you on make sense of this path and what is happening and like where you are and what's to come and like what the heck. So bats are definitely like some of the most sacred symbols of death and rebirth and transformation. And I actually feel like you may be going through this with a community, which is interesting. We'll get more into that. But also, several of your stones and bat medicine are talking about Mayan, Aztec, Mesoamerican, and also Paleolithic. I don't know. I don't even know what this, like, please forgive me. But these are all kind of connected, and I feel like there is definitely an element here of some past life stuff going on that Spirit wants to bring up for you, on top of helping you make sense of current energies and how all of this ties in to your role here with the Golden Children. So this really stood out to me as one of the first, I want to make sure you can see this okay, one of the first charms or whatever you would call it that came out for your reading. And this is definitely the Nothies symbol. Nothies stands a lot for resistance. I feel resistance. It could also like a need for something, your beliefs, the effort that you put into something. But with it right now, I'm feeling almost a resistance. And I feel like it might be a resistance to like what you're going through and what's happening. I feel like you're very tired. That would make sense with this. I think it's called Chert, Chert, or flint. This is what they made weapons out of in this particular time. Aztec Mayan culture, Paleolithic. I don't know what this means. I'm so sorry. I feel like I need to look up and see what this means, this word that I keep saying to you. Okay, so Paleolithic, Paleolithic is relating to, this is from the Oxford Dictionary, it's relating to or denoting the early phase of the Stone Age, lasting about 2.5 million years, when primitive stone elements were used. Okay, so man, how does this relate to your reading? There's some past life stuff that I am really feeling going from that. You're an ancient soul, first and foremost. Going from kind of that, the Stone Age, that beginnings of time. Look at this homework they're having me do. Mesothelic. Okay, I gotta pause again and look this up before we continue. I'm so sorry. Okay, this is wild, Spirit. So Mesolithic is related to the middle part of the Stone Age. So this is very ancient, early Earth energy. And with the bloodstone here, this is a lot of psychic abilities, but courage, and I'm hearing Christ consciousness. Man, you have so much going on in your reading pile too. So I feel a resistance simply for the fact that you're going through it right now for like the 119th time, and you're asking Spirit, why? Like, why are we going through this? When does it stop? You probably actually feel like your awakening and your initiation and rebirth has been going on since the Paleolithic period. It probably feels like it's just going on and on and on and on. And now I'm being called to read a piece in the book for you real quick before we start pulling more cards. So, number 42, which reduces to a 6. Oh yeah, so they're talking about their in Aztec Mayan civilizations. Oh, specifically Turtle Island. Okay. There's a ritual on Turtle Island basically called the Night of Fear. And in this ritual, the shaman-to-be is sent to a certain location to dig his or her grave and spend the night in the womb of Mother Earth totally alone, with the mouth of the grave covered by a blanket. Darkness and the sounds of animals prowling quickly confronts the initiate with his or her fears. As the darkness of the grave has its place in this ritual, so does the cave of Bat. Hanging upside down is a symbol for learning to transpose your former self into a newborn being. This is literally what you're going through right now. If Bat has appeared in your cards today, it symbolizes the need for a ritualistic death of some way of life that no longer suits your new growth pattern. This can mean a time of letting go of old habits and of assuming the position in life that prepares you for rebirth, or in some cases, initiation, which is exactly what you're going through. In every case, Bat signals rebirth of some part of yourself or the death of old patterns. If you resist, oh my, are you serious? If you resist your destiny, It can be a long, drawn out, or painful death. The universe is always asking you to grow and become your future. To do so, you must die the shaman's death. And resistance. So let's go ahead and pull some cards. There's so much going on in your reading, group 2. I actually want to go ahead and pull from my Oracle of Light. There's so much going on in your reading, group 2. I don't even know where to start. So please and thank you, Spirit, for group 2. Can you please give us more clarity on this death, rebirth, initiation, and what this has to do with the golden children for group 2, please and thank you. What does this have to do with the golden children for group 2? What messages are you wanting to bring through here? I'm hearing okay. I'm hearing first and foremost, judging your resistance is the only thing cogging the wheel. Not the fact that you feel resistance. It's the fact that you're judging the fact that you're feeling resistance. Does that make sense? When in all actuality, this resistance you're experiencing is just here to help you cultivate more power and courage that you need for when you emerge from this initiation. You are in the grave you dug for yourself. You are in the night of fears, or whatever they called it on Turtle Island. Actually, before I forget, somebody out here needs to research their lineage, because you're connected to Turtle Island on like a human DNA level, and that's significant for you. Thank you so much, Spirit. Please help me make sense of this for group 2. What is going on here with their initiation? Syrians, awesome. With ancient knowledge from Mother Earth, and literally you're in the grave you're in the Saturn, thank you. You're in the proverbial grave that you dug, just like the book said, to spend the night inside Mother Earth's womb and see your fears and move through the shaman's initiation. All right, pile 2, let's get back to your reading. I am setting the intention that we have no more interruptions or glitches, whatever is going on. And I'm really not sure why just yet. I'm sure it'll come up for us. So you have several 4s, the number 4 in your reading. We have a 4 here in the 42, a number 4 here with Cancer, and number 40 here with second house and resources. I do feel like the number 4 obviously is very significant to you. If you're here from pile 1, there's a message about April, the month of April. So you could be here from pile 1, and if that's the case, that's just further confirmation for you. 4s are also about foundations and stability, and we have that here with our Saturn card. I kind of love this with Syrians here on one side of Saturn, and ancient patterns talking about it being safe to let them go here on the other side, and Saturn being the energy, the planet of not only resilience, but I would even say resistance at times, limitation, obstacles, grandfather time. And so we're talking about ancient patterns in relation to time, which is a construct. They're wanting me to remind us, okay? And The Syrians are playing an integral part here in helping bring not only this level of calm into your world from here on out, but also more stability in a world where you may have felt like you had to be locked in a cave, that your gifts had to be hidden away a bit because the noise of the outside world was just like too much. I see you retreating like this crab with the Cancer card. And I feel there's a big part of this that's related to what they're saying is your poverty mindset. And this isn't just in relation to prosperity, finances, even though that's a part of it. But particularly, I feel that they're bringing up here that maybe your resistance or uncomfortability with sharing your gifts because of past restrictions or obstacles or resistance that had been met by your creative passions or the things that you held most close to your heart. I feel it's been easier for you to keep them kind of to yourself to an extent. You share, but then it's really only sharing in situations where you feel very safe that you won't meet resistance. And yet I feel that you find even in these situations, something happens where you're met with resistance, whether it's from yourself or someone else. The Solar Calm card talks a lot about creativity blooming when the energies of the sun are a little less potent. That seems to be my favorite channeling word here as of late. It's talking about how things kind of slow down on their blooming when the solar energies are calmer, and yet passions and creativity also have time to kind of grow and bloom. People search for the less tangible, the more metaphysical when the solar energies are less heightened. And I feel that they're wanting to remind you that you have entered this phase in your life where there is more clarity for you because things are calming down a bit. I feel with the second house and resources here, for many of you, I'm hearing you really thought you would be in a much different place by the time you reached 40 years old. And you've either passed 40 or you're close to reaching 40. And this is difficult. You know, this is something that is, I'm hearing a pain point for you. And you've been asking them to bring you clarity, to clarify why have you placed such a purpose and a drive and a desire in my heart to be a certain thing, to create, to have this purpose, if it's not culminating or coming to fruition in a way that feels satisfying for you. And I feel them asking you to ask yourself, for you, what is the definition of feeling satisfied in your life? What does that really look like for you? All right, pile 2, if you're still with me, then there's definitely a message for you. This is getting a bit concerning here, how many problems I have had. So I'm seeing 4 and 16. This is like a big jump. This is a big jump from immersing yourself in this crab-like cocoon energy of being very particular with who you share your soft inside with. And I feel like in the recent past, you've only truly felt comfortable sharing this with individuals that you feel connect with you on a cosmic or galactic level. So like what I mean by that really is people who are not just going to have like your normal run of the mill conversation with you. You want to be able to have deep, meaningful, how does the world work? What is the universe? I mean, these are the kind of relationships that you have been okay with fostering. And now I feel as you slowly move through the turbulence you've been experiencing into, I'm hearing more permanently calmer waters, that your soul has been leading you here to. You're going to feel much more open and aligned to share yourself and your beautiful energy with so many more people. And if you hear me swallowing, and I'm really having a lot of physical sensations and reactions to your reading. So we'll get into that. I have to ask why. Like, why is all this turbulence in your reading happening? Why am I having so many physical, like when I say physical symptoms, like right now, I'm having to swallow. I'm breathing kind of funny. I keep feeling like I'm gonna burp, or cough, or just like make weird noises. And so there could be something here where maybe you're kind of a fidgety person, or just maybe that's just an example. Maybe you just move your body differently. Maybe you're eccentric. Maybe your laugh is really loud. Maybe there are just all these things about you that people have poked at and been, I would say, cruel, but not even just cruel, that you have been met with a lot of pain and resistance for just being who you are. And as you move into these calmer waters, I feel like that in and of itself will be and is a tower moment for you. I feel like it's very hard for you to wrap your mind around the fact that you're not being tricked by these new people coming into your life, that it's safe for you to be seen, to love and show and share yourself with others. And the Syrians card is really standing out to me right now. Syrians inspire you with ancient knowledge from Mother Earth. The Syrians are said to retain information of everything, particularly planet Earth. And to work with the Syrians right now, it's almost as if to work with the Syrians right now is to like work with the guardians of the earth. So you may have, I think I already said this, you may have Virgo in your chart. These earth guardians who remember everything. They remember how to heal. They remember your pain. And they're working right now to help you transmute this painful Saturn energy, these ancient, painful, restrictive patterns, and transmute them into this solar calm. Coming back to the second house with resources here, I also feel this sense of you having some not so cool relationships with money, in that I feel your artist heart, because I do feel in your own right, whatever your medium is or no medium at all, in your artist heart, there's a resistance to making a lot of money off of your art, because what does that say about you? And I feel like this is you probably go back and forth on this, because I feel like a lot of your personal fulfillment comes from when you know that your art is successful in making money and people like it. And also, I feel like it makes you kind of feel like a sellout. So I don't feel like this is, I feel like this is just something to be mindful of as you move forward, because you're meant to hold a lot of resources. They want me to say that again. You are meant to have and hold a lot of resources. This is part of your job as one of the golden children, and also rearing and ushering in these new souls, these new golden children that are incarnating right now. All right, I've already spent a lot of time shuffling these cards as well. This is the Starseed Oracle from Rebecca Campbell. And thank you, Spirit, for pile 2, for my bat babies. What message or further messages, particularly related to the golden children, does pile 2 need to know right now, Spirit? Spirit team of pile 2, thank you so much. Before we pick that up, we have the courageous peony, and I may be saying peony wrong, peony. Multifaceted, unique nature, let yourself be seen. This is literally what they've been talking about here, is how the Syrians are working with you to help yourself feel more comfortable, to release these old restrictive patterns, to allow you to feel more comfortable and at ease with letting yourself be seen. And by letting yourself be seen, you automatically usher in more resources. Beautiful. I knew they were going to want me to turn it around eventually. I just had to wait for them to say when. You, there's something, again, very significant with this very moldable and yet breakable piece of earth. And it's moldable. It's like you can file this into an arrowhead and it would do some damage. But how resilient is it? I mean, maybe it's more resilient than we've given it credit for, because it's still here in some way. But I feel like they're asking for you to use this in a different purpose. Does this have to be molded into a weapon? Whoa. When there are so many other amazing things it could be molded into. They're highlighting my Shiva heart here. And it's got a little chip up here. And then they're also bringing up this flower agate tower. And sure, these could be turned into weapons to protect someone if needed. But maybe it doesn't have to be anymore. Because I think your soul DNA remembers a lot of, this is so interesting. I just had this conversation with my husband at dinner tonight. But I think your soul really remembers the amount of time, not even in this lifetime, but in remember at the beginning of the reading, what did they say? Paleolithic, Mesolithic period, the Stone Age, where you've had to defend yourself. And it's changed over time, where for a long time physically defending yourself, and now it's maybe less physically defending yourself and more maybe it's still physically defending yourself, but also defending just who you innately are. Maybe it's time for some of these weapons to be repurposed into something softer and that could be used in a different way, in a more courageous way. Now I'm going to go ahead and move my amethyst here, since the candle is dripping, and that's okay. I kind of figured that was going to happen. I do not know what kind of chaos is going on in your reading group too. Let's look at the card that we were given. Star Bathing, Light Body Crystal Grid Transmission Activation. So first they're telling me part of the chaos going on here is your body. So your body needs some... it's activating. It's being activated. It's going to be activated more. You're in an activation period. They're saying. And because of that, your body needs... So I'm getting energy healing, okay? And we can definitely do a light language transmission here at the end, if you feel called to stay for that. But also maybe Reiki, if you're interested in that. And I also feel just giving your body more grace as you move through this transition period, because they want to remind you that while the tower in your life right now is making room for all of this calm and alignment, you're still going through a tower moment in activation, where things are changing, transmuting, transforming, and these are big energies that you're navigating. The bat inherently lives in a cave, and it's being asked to change its physical, its millennia location, and move out into the light now. And it's being asked to do this in a really quick ascended kind of way. So your eyes are not really adjusting right. Everything probably seems like it's got exclamation points on it and is very, very heightened. So even though what you're experiencing internally is the opposite of solar calm, you're experiencing all this to get you into that solar calm alignment. And they're saying that this is part of what all of the chaos in this reading has been, because if you're watching this, I think you're experiencing a lot of that same chaos mentally and in your physical world. It's interesting. They brought up my little monkey figurine at the beginning, and I thought, how would this tie into their reading? But they just brought it up to me again. And so you might feel like you're really tied up in your monkey brain right now of just hopping and bouncing from thing to thing, stuff that you know you need to get done, but also this underlying layer of discomfort and how can we kind of sort of mask it. And they're not judging you for that. They're just trying to help you make sense of what you're experiencing and where you are. So I'd like to ask one more question, and this is a specific question. And this is, how specifically are you here to impact and be a part of the golden children? incarnating on earth right now. I just would like to specifically like to help you get a little clear on your specific purpose here as a golden child, what that means for you, and what that means in conjunction with your purpose here on earth. Please and thank you, Spirit team of Group 2. They're bringing me back to the bat and just how significant it is to you. I don't think that is news to you. I think if you're here, you've probably already been very drawn to bats, but they're wanting to highlight that again for you. You may have had an experience as a kid with a bat, or a family member and a bat that may stand out to you. And if that's the case and that family member has passed, I very strongly feel like this is kind of a nod from them to let you know that they're still with you and they see you and they love you so much. So that might just be for one person listening, but that was pretty special. So thank you, Spirit. For Group 2, how are they specifically working as a golden child? Oh, well, more apples. Apples, how you like them? How you like these apples? I can't help it. In another life, do you even care about this? In another life, I would have loved to have been in film, been a director, and Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Yeah, Good Will Hunting is what I'm getting at, if you hadn't already picked that up, and I'm in my feel, so I'll just leave it at that. So how you like them apples? Lots of apples. We got apple again. Forbidden fruit. Man, so there's something here with apple symbolism for you. Forbidden fruit. Things that you just feel, kind of slithery about. And that is what your purpose is. I'm trying to make sense of this. We have number 40, and then this apple card is number 32, which reduces to a 5. And this is significant, because 5 times 8, oh my God, 5 times 8 is 40. And 8s are about abundance. Okay. Keep going, Spirit. And then we have, the 5-pointed star here with the seeds in the center of the apple. It's about fertility. I'm getting the Venus star point along. Again, I feel like you bring about change in ways that used to seem forbidden. So an example I'm being given is like a revolutionary female artist who drew pictures of beautiful naked women in like 1902 and in a really rural part of the South, and people more or less like wanted to end her life. My gosh. Okay. So it's that kind of revolutionary artist outside of their time, forbidden, but you're doing this in a way that helps empower and kind of lead and guide the way for the future. And this is so interesting because it helps remove that layer, that severe layer of duality in black and white, right and wrong. And it helps bring this beauty in a really earthy kind of way also. It helps bring this beauty back to earth in a way that's empowering to all, that's sensual to all, that makes the mysterious still have the beauty of mystery, but not tangled in the historical webs of just, like pain and icky and, sin is the word that's coming to mind here. Helping remove these old, stuck, stiff, ancient patterns and just bring this sense of calm and clarity to people. So they're actually wanting me to end this with some light language for you now, and then we will end your reading group 2. This has been a trip. This has been a trip for me. I'm truly very, very grateful that you have spent this beautiful, precious time with me here. I am so, so grateful for your light that you just inherently possess and work so hard to share with others. I know that that's difficult for you, and I feel like you're about over the hump now. Before we do the light language and end your reading, they are bringing up this bloodstone, Amazon bloodstone. Is that that may be a bloodstone from the Amazon, maybe? They really would like for you to work with this particular stone. It's going to help you a lot, bringing that courage that you need to kind of come out of your shell and your cave a little bit as you really work with these energies. And anything else before, please remember to like, share, subscribe if you feel called. And I'm going to go ahead and begin here. Le kapaye dash napate oyampe. Lekate tosh no e lak to amo to se tete in kush data boakata ya yeta doeshne pepe so and you the koto doeshe pepalako yeteta and eshe lalakotoe hiut oye isinina it nekotoa. Thank you so much. I very heavily felt the energy of Kuan Yin there, so that may be significant for someone. Please take excellent care of yourself in the days ahead. I love you so, so, so much. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye, Group 2. Hi, Group 3. This is your reading. I don't know why I paused there. Welcome. This is for those of you that picked the Swan. And I'm already so excited for your reading because there's some amazing stuff going on here. I have the book out. First of all, the medicine cards in the corresponding book are on another level. I don't know how to tell you how beautiful these cards and messages are. So if you have a chance, ever have a chance to get a hold of this particular deck in this book, I strongly encourage you to do that. So there are parts here that I can't channel better than what is written. So let me go ahead and read this to you. Swan medicine is about grace. It tells a story here of Dragonfly being kind of the guardian of the dream time, and Swan was an ugly duckling and happened upon Dragonfly and gave this beautiful answer to Dragonfly about why they should have their illusion of the pond broken so that they could see beyond the dream time. And it says here that the swan looked at her ugly little duckling body and answered, I will be happy to abide by Great Spirit's plan. I won't fight the currents of the black hole. I don't know why I feel like I want to cry. Gosh. Whew. I will surrender to the flow of the spiral and trust what I am shown. And so the dragonfly was really happy with that. The swan disappeared into this whirlpool and then emerged several days later as this beautiful swan. And the dragonfly was like so surprised and was like, yo, swan, what happened? So Swan told the dragonfly all of the amazing things that she experienced. And she said, I saw many wonders high on Sacred Mountain, and because of my faith and ooh, and because of my faith and my acceptance, I have been changed. I have learned to accept the state of grace. So it is that we learn to surrender to the grace of the rhythm of the universe and slip from our physical bodies into the dream time. Swan medicine teaches us to be at one with all planes of consciousness and trust in Great Spirit's protection. If you pulled Swan, it ushers in a time of altered states of awareness and of development of your intuitive abilities. Swan medicine people have the ability to see the future, to surrender to the power of Great Spirit, and to accept the healing and transformation of their lives. So this is really talking about actual surrender and receiving the grace that comes with surrendering to the flow of the spiral, surrendering to the currents of the black hole. And here it says, Swan, the power of woman, entering sacred space, touching future yet to come, bringing eternal grace. And Swan is also number 39, which reduces to the number 12. And that makes me think of the Hanged Man. So immediately, let's note the fact that there is a bone here on this card. And one of the talismans that you got for your reading is this little bone. Now, I don't know what animal this bone belonged to. It was given to me in a rather peculiar way, in such a way that it is, I am fond of it and I care about it and it stays here with me. And I'm not someone who practices osteomancy, but I do feel like, especially with them talking about your intuitive psychic abilities really coming online, that might be something for you to look at. It's interesting, and I don't know why I feel compelled to bring up the Bible here of all things. I don't know why I say it like that, but it just seems odd that that's what would come up here. But they actually talk about using osteomancy and some other, many different types of divination that were popular at the time. Some of them are really, dark. They're dark and upsetting for me because I love animals. If you feel called to research all the different methods of divination, then by all means, I feel like just research those things, but I won't get into them too much here. I just feel like that is a huge part of your reading that should be brought up. And also Odin. So with the Hanged Man and Odin hanging on the tree of life, Yggdrasil, I may be pronouncing this wrong, and for some reason I feel like that might be the name of his horse. I don't know, I'll have to check on all that here. channeling, and also I'm just not the best at getting the details on some of these things right, and I know that's terrible. But I feel like that may be a potent guide for you, a potent and important guide for you. I also feel like Vega, the star system of Vega, you may resonate as being a vegan. I'm also hearing you may also be a vegan as far as your dietary habits, or you've really been looking at veganism, Ayurvedic food, ways to eat healthier. Man, the messages are coming in so fast and heavy, and I love it. I love it so much. We're going to go ahead and start pulling some more cards here, but the constellation of Cygnus, I feel like right off the bat, that's a really important constellation and star system for you to be researching more, because you're definitely connected to this. You may also have someone in your life named Grace, or you could be named Grace. But I feel like grace, the word here is more than just the definition of that word. It's about being it, living it. And I also feel like for some of you, there is an important person in your life who either has that as a first, middle, or even a last name. Maybe that is your kind of secret power word or meditation word with source, with your guides. Thank you. So, golden children for pile 3. What messages? Thank you so much. Star Keeper, cosmic ancestor. See the light by staying grounded. Wait, it's not yet time. Things are being woven. Thank you so much, Spirit team of group 3. We have called soul gifts and training. It's time to step up and wait. How funny is that? Okay. So let's get organized here. I want to say let's get organized, my little Virgo. So somebody, more than somebody, several of you. And there was some Virgo energy in pile 2. So if you were torn between pile 3 and pile 2, that is your confirmation. Look at this. And I want to go ahead and pull the one at the bottom of the deck too, and at the top. Okay, so the one at the bottom is You're Not For Everyone, and the one at the top is this whole reading is tugging at my heartstrings, and because we saw it, Arcturus energy, deep cellular healing. So the Arcturians are definitely showing up here in your reading, and I love that. I love Arcturians. I love Arcturians so much. This is another call for you to get your galactic chart done. And I actually have I have 2 different people I would be more than happy to recommend to you that I trust very, very much, who would be able to help you do this and do it accurately and honestly. So holler at me if you would like info on those friends of mine. I feel like we're definitely going to be pulling a lot of cards for your reading, group 3. And that's okay. So the first card that's really standing out to me here is called Soul Gifts and Training. It's time to step up. Now, I do feel like this is in conjunction here with the Wait card. So help me make sense here. There's something about portals and making a move, a big move through a portal. And so we need to find out what portal it is they're talking about here. There are so many things that you're so good at, that you're able to see with an eye that other people can't. You may hear a lot like, I never would have thought of it that way, or I never would have thought to see to look at it that way. And you're like, I've looked at it this way and 893 other ways. And my brain has deduced for you, you're welcome, what the best option is. And this is not like cocky. This is someone who is so ancient. And I don't think you're cocky anyway. I feel like you have a real grace about you. But you are also someone who knows things. You may like Game of Thrones because I just saw it's been a minute, and by a minute I mean probably 7 years since I've watched it. But Peter Dinklage has this one tiny little bit where he says, "That's what I do." I think he says, "I drink and I know things. I drink beer and I know things." Or maybe it's not beer, but and I feel like that's kind of who you are. You are the person who knows things. And a lot of this is because you come from behind this veil behind Cygnus. So we're going to get real sourcey here with you. In my interpretation, in my understanding, and I want to preface everything that I say from my own point of view, from my own understanding, and I only say it to help activate within you for you to find the answers that ring true to you. So please don't ever take anything I say as the word of God, because that's never the intent. The intent is to help you remember yourself. I remember. Soul plan, the fated life versus the destiny life. So having said that, I really am of the belief that Source resides behind a portal or behind a veil that is behind Spica and Cygnus in the Virgo constellation. And now I'm really, really feeling like you come from here. You come from where Source exists, and you are blowing my mind right now. You're blowing my mind right now. I need a moment. You are meant to be building your foundation, just as you have been. Right now in this present moment, being able to see the big picture, you can see through the portal. You may not have crystal clear vision, but you are using your sense of feeling and trust and surrender. And that is how you know what lies on the other side of this portal. You are being called to wait until you're literally called to action. I'm seeing the horn being blown, like in the Judgment card in tarot. And now I have the chills and everything feels cold, because they are letting you know right now to release the timer, to release any fear or feeling like you have missed the boat. Modest Mouse may be significant to you. To release any feeling like you've missed the boat, like time is running out, because that's a waste of time. They're saying, like, worrying about that is a complete waste of time and energy for you. They need you to remember that. They know that you came here thinking, after all these incarnations and all of this time, and as ancient as your soul is, surely something is going to spark a remembrance in me. Like almost a cockiness, like, I've got it this time. I've got the secret word. I've got the deja vu. I've got, this soul lesson that there's no way I won't wake up to the reality of who I am and immediately be set forth on my purpose. And it's like, that's just not the way Earth School works. And you know this now, okay? But you're just being called to embrace your true north, face your weirdness. I'm reading it backwards and they're telling me that's intentional. Embrace your true north and face your weirdness. And I'm getting like full body chills again, because just like the ugly duckling swan, she looked down on her ugly duckling body and said, okay, let's go. Don't know what's going to happen in this whirlpool, but I'm down to find out. And she emerged this all-knowing, infinitely wise, gracious, beautiful, psychic swan, cosmic swan, divine cosmic swan. My train is honking in confirmation. You are a divine cosmic swan, goddess swan, gender not specific, which is really important. They keep bringing this up. This has nothing to do with, how do you want me to say this? It's like it has nothing to do with gender or anything that's going on in that way. It's that gender in that way literally does not exist in these higher frequencies in these other realms. It just doesn't. And so any kind of worry or stress you may have about this, they're saying again, it's a waste of energy. Even like not your passion towards rights, but in your fervent desire to change people's minds in such a powerful way, it needs to be redirected. If that is, I'm speaking to someone specific here, but it's like just redirect that energy into more positive, just accepting of being our unique frequency and holding selves. And I'm being brought to Alak Manon. I may be saying their name incorrectly, but they're a beautiful individual that I, on Instagram is where I follow them. And it's just accepting us. No gender, like none of that. It's just accepting us. So that's a very specific message for someone out there. And I hope it reaches the person it's meant to reach. But what you're doing here for the golden children, for yourself, is lifting the veil so they may remember. Oh my gosh, you're blowing my mind right now. You are someone who is acutely aware of this Harith energy, longing for home, homesick for the stars. You have been called to this enormous purpose and duty for your entire incarnation here. And while I feel like you've spent a majority of it not fully understanding or even having any idea what that purpose was, you never stopped feeling as though that was your life path, right? And so because you reside in the same, I almost have chest pain trying to channel this because the energy is so intense. Because you reside wherever source resides. You are this cosmic ancestor star keeper, and you are incarnated right now to help open the portals and lift the veil for the new earth and its children. And they're saying, do you know how important this job is? Do you know how important this assignment and this mission is? This is ultimate Christ consciousness, choosing Bharat Svyata, God help me, Kuan Yin. It's a Buddha transcends and reaches enlightenment and continues to nirvana. Okay, so it's a Bodhisattva, like Kuan Yin. This is an entity or a being who reaches enlightenment and chooses, instead of going to nirvana to come back and incarnate again to help the people here. And this is who you are. Just like, that's who you are. Hey. Thank you. Can I be the first to, and I'm not being silly, like, can I thank you with my entire heart for coming here to do this insane thing? They need you, and I feel like you're almost there, but they really need you to remember that, like, you are not for everyone. I hear them saying, we don't know how many times we can tell you this and in how many different ways, and they just want it to stop hurting you so much. Because you, like, you can't fit in. You may have a lot of Scorpio in your chart, because I'm getting that you were literally made to trigger people. You're made to trigger people into saying aspects of themselves that make them feel uncomfortable so they can see it and heal it and transmute it. But at the same time, those individuals have to be willing to see and view and transmute these energies. And so you have to remember that you're here to lift the veil. You are here to not just see the light, you're here to lift the veil. I feel compelled to put these cards away and pull from another deck. We're going to keep our beautiful swan card out. But I would like to use another deck. This is my Oracle of Light deck made by my incredible soul sister Deborah, the intuitive turtle, with the help of the Pleiadians. And I felt very called to mention that. So the Pleiadians may actually be working closely with you. Be interested to see if they come out. So please and thank you, Spirit team of Group 3. Regarding the Golden Children and Group 3's role here, what information do they need to know? Any and all information for Group 3, please and thank you. This deck is just a little bit too big for my hands, so it takes some more effort and time to shuffle, but I really don't care. They could be as big as banana leaves and I'd still shuffle them, because I am that obsessed with this deck. Ooh, we're going to take that. Healing. Look at that. Healing. Lightworker reminder. Are you trying to save someone? Interesting, because this is heavy Pleiadian energy, some actual shadow. I hate to say shadow, but yeah, shadow aspects of Pleiadian energy is trying to save others instead of allowing them to be on their journey. I'm hearing another deck, even though I want to pull all the cards from here. Okay, thank you, Spirit. And then what is the second deck that you want me to use? Okay. So, knowing, I mean, of course you're a light worker. Of course you are a light worker because of your soul. But I think it's important, like the most important thing to remember here is how important it is for you. Do I want this one? I don't know. How important it is for you to know that your existence here heals others. and that you are meant to heal others. And also, you can't properly heal others if you're not taking care of yourself all the way, which is what this card in particular reminds me of a lot with the cactus or the cacti. Are you giving all of your energy and nutrients that you hold inside to other people because you know that that's what you're supposed to do? Are you spending enough time healing yourself so that you can heal other people? I mean, it's just so important to remember yourself. You know, that isn't an age-old adage. I really don't know if it's an age-old adage. Okay, no, that's wild, because these cards, I have shuffled this deck so many times, and these cards both came out in pile 1. So if you felt drawn to pile 1, I would highly encourage you to watch that one, because there's just no plausible way that these cards would come out again with as many times as I've shuffled this, and Cancer from pile 2. That's amazing. Okay. And I want to use some tarot cards to get the rest of the information here for us. It's interesting because I haven't used tarot cards in the other 2 piles, but I feel really called to use them here to get more clarification. So please and thank you, Spirit, for group 3, more clarification on what you want them to know, their mission, their role with the golden children. I want to also mention that what I believe to be true and know of the Beehive Cluster and the Ascended Masters that reside and work with this system, it is of no surprise to me that they would be connected to Cygnus, which I believe Source is connected with also. So for me, this is so much more confirmation of being connected to that source energy. Yeshua, I'm seeing 3-3. Okay. We have Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck, and I'm immediately hearing Archangel Michael. So we have 10 of Wands. We have 6 of Cups. And then we have 5 of Coins. This is so interesting. So they're telling me here that you are someone who is intimately aware. You are intimately aware of deep pain, particularly from your childhood and your past, but from millennia. You are someone, I'm being shown Chiron, the wounded healer. You are someone who carries the pain of every atom and molecule that has ever existed in any realm. Like, who are you? But you carry this knowledge and this energy within you, and yet you have still been able to transmute. Like, this is total enlightenment. You've been able to transmute this pain and sorrow into the greatest depths of healing that planet Earth will have ever known. And I'm hearing all of this had to be this way. All of this had to be this way in order for things to grow. And there is so much growing now because of the sacrifices that your soul has made along the way. I'm hearing at this point you've overcome and figured out how to cut through anything. And every time you cut through something, you immediately offer it to Source to transmute it into something good. And so you are this absolute warrior of grace and surrender, pure healing energy. I'm getting that just being around you for other people is intoxicating, because just being within 7 feet of your aura helps people heal. They don't even know what's going on. And I feel that you have to recharge a lot because of this. And they're saying, I think you're hard on yourself about this sometimes, and it's necessary. It's necessary. It would also be really beneficial for you to create a protective Merkaba around your light body, around your energy before you leave the house. It'd be good practice to do this every morning before you wake up. I am a mom to very little ones, and I totally get that this is much easier said than done for many of us. But if you could try to be cognizant of setting that intention before you leave the house to protect your energy, I think you'd still be able to offer healing to people without it draining and pulling on you so very much. There's also this interesting juxtaposition back and forth energy here between Gemini cross-pollinate, which is, Gemini communication. It is seen energy, and Scorpio investigate is a less seen energy, at least in respect to how these signs feel comfortable. But I feel also the difference between these two cards numerically is the number 5, which is change. And I feel for you in particular, there is going to be a real change in how you move and operate in the world moving forward, because you're more aware of your intuitive gifts and your just the energy that you inherently hold. I'm also getting chrysanthemums may be significant to you, or just new friendships in this leg of your journey it's surprising to you that you have new friendships that you also know are going to be in your life for the rest of your life, because these are galactic soul family. Like, this is soul family on a whole other level. And so all of this comes back to your role as one of the golden children, and as someone who is helping the other golden children that are incarnating right now, as a healer, as a light worker. The pain that you carry almost works as an anchor, a counterbalance for the light that you intend to bring to the world. And they're showing me a teeter-totter, perfectly balanced. And one end of this is all of the grief that existence has ever known, and the other side of it is light. And somehow you are the energy in the middle balancing it all. And this is really big energy. They're saying this is why you need to be so cognizant of your thoughts, of your emotions, of what you're manifesting, what you're putting energy into, because you are someone who can literally change the weather with your energy. You may have actually experienced this already. I don't think I'm telling you something new when I'm telling you how big your energy is. And again, I do not believe in hierarchies other than creator in us. But as far as your soul and what you know and what you can do and the energy you can hold, it's on another level I cannot fully comprehend. Amazing. You can reach heights and see things, like see the big picture. I'm hearing visionary, that probably blows people away. I think you blow yourself away sometimes. Like, did I really come up with that? So this is what you do. I'm not really feeling much more than this for you, group 3. I feel like this is a bunch of good reminders to treat yourself better. It's confirmation of where you come from, who you are, and what your role here is. We have Queen of Coins and the Moon reversed. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles. And the only reason I'm going to cover her up like that is just because of the YouTube rules, because I would actually like for her to be kind of like front and center here. But the Moon reversed, uncovering the bounty of what you are, the magic you hold, the nurturing, the healing, the abundance, the love. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I know the Queen of Wands like gets a lot of hot energy, but next to the Empress, I feel like the Queen of Pentacles has it all. And that's who you are. And that is being uncovered. Again, it's not gender specific, because you're connected to the Elohim, which is angelic beings. And knowing this, I hope will make more sense of the gender thing that came up earlier, because angelic beings don't have gender. It's not part of their frequency. And so, yeah, that's got to be important for someone, because it keeps coming up like that. So we'll leave that there. Is there anything else that you would like for me to get for group number 3? I'm hearing one more thing, an activation card. Okay. Let's get one activation card for you before we go. And I'm not actually feeling called to do any light language for you, group 3, but I will say, if that is like some light language healing and activation, if that's something you're interested in, that did come through at the end of group 2. And I want to say how grateful I am for all of the comments and kindness that you all have shown me, sharing these really sacred, special, and vulnerable parts of myself with the light language. But it is so important and special and sacred to me, and so I'm very, very grateful that it seems like it means a lot to some of you as well. All right, so final card for group number 3. You all are something else. Let me say that. Wow. Fertility. Is this not what we were just talking about? You are such a fertile energy. Healing. They want me to get one more. Number 27. Somebody out here is definitely 27 years old and or was born on the 27th of a month. 7, 8, 9. You're also coming towards the end of a cycle, but you already know this. That's not anything new, they're saying. An allowance. Okay. There's a lot of green here. I like that we have transition here at the bottom of the deck. Number 43. Number 43 may be significant to someone out here. And then this popped over, the 10 of Wands. They want you to release. So what did we miss here? They want me to read from the book, actually. I'm going to leave these 2 activation cards here, and then let's get, this is the Tarot of the Divine, and it's stories, folklore, each card. This is so, so special. So let's see what the book says for the 10 of Wands here. So Timbo Tree, Paraguay, Guarani legend. The 10 of Wands represents taking on too much and refusing to accept help. When Sagwa's daughter went missing, I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, he searched alone in vain. A timbo tree grew from his ear when he died, bearing fruits he labored for but was unable to enjoy. Overwhelmed, stress, obligation, refusing aid and duty. And I feel very strongly that if there's anything they need you to work on right now, it is learning to ask for help and knowing that you, like the Pleiadians, that message from the Pleiadians, you're not meant to save everybody. You're not meant to sacrifice yourself and your needs to save everyone else. I heard it earlier and I didn't say it, so I'm going to say it now. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And you know this, but they really need you to know it and integrate it and let it go. You have too much abundance coming in for you. It's already here. Much of it's already here for you, but you just have so much, you have way too much abundance coming in for you to be searching for things that are a literal waste of your precious, abundant, bountiful, fertile energy. Okay. So we have fertility. The frequency of fertility invites us to be more open, more courageous, more creative, and more joyful than we were before. It activates the potential for something beautiful to grow from our consciousness into a new and grander expression of ourselves. And would you look at this? The tree grew, something new grew from the pain. And now it's ready for like the fruit to be picked. It's like this is totally ready for harvest time. And then in conjunction 7, 8, 9, 9. So we have 2 9s here. You're almost at the end of whatever you're going through. You're almost at the end. It says the frequency of allowance invites us to be open to whatever comes our way, without judgment, without opinion, without fear, and without resistance. When we allow the universe the universe becomes our partner in the wondrous dance of existence and expansion. And I feel Spirit asking you to remember who you are in this wondrous dance in the universe, because your soul is much more ancient and powerful and, quite frankly, very badass. Who are you, Group 3? Please let me know. This is your reading. I am so grateful to have spent this beautiful time with you. I really cannot put into words just how grateful I am. Thank you from the entirety of my heart for spending your precious time with me. If this reading resonated with you, please like, share, or subscribe. Those are completely free ways to help me grow this channel so I can keep doing what I'm most passionate about, which is bringing you these messages from Spirit and your Spirit team. I am, again, always so grateful for you. And more than anything, please take excellent care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you soon.